We looked in our last video at the need for training to be both consistent and progressive to be effective. But there are probably two other areas that you should also consider if you really want to optimize your gains through all the training that you do. So the first of these two additional factors that you might want to consider is to make sure that your training is targeted. Now it might seem obvious to be kind of gearing your training towards the race that you're doing, but actually for most triathletes who train in a group, this can be quite difficult, and it's easy to get distracted by what other people are doing or just what the one session the coach has set is, and you can get distracted from the things that you need to focus on. So make sure that your training targets the demands of the race that you're preparing for, and that also means looking at that race. Look at the course and the profile and the demands that you're likely to meet on race day. So making sure that your training is consistent and progressive, but also targeted towards the event that you're preparing for is really key. There's one more area, and let's look at that now. So as well as making sure that your training is consistent, progressive, and targeted towards the event that you're training for, you also want to make sure that it's individualized to you and your own needs, particularly your strengths and weaknesses. So it's really important to assess what are your strong and weak points across each of the disciplines for triathlon. A good way to start doing this is to sometimes think about your sporting background. So if you've come from a background that's largely been endurance sport, then you might find that you need to be working a little bit more on strength and power and speed or plyometric ability. If you've come from a team sport background, something like rugby or hockey, then you might find that in fact it's the endurance elements that you need to work on a little bit more to balance out your levels of fitness. That might be regardless of the event that you're actually training for. So part of my job as a coach of the Jets is to look at everyone's specific strengths and weaknesses across swim, bike and run, and then work on the weaknesses. Now it might be that a short-term view and a short-term gain is to highlight your strengths, but in the long term I would always urge you to identify your weaknesses and then to really work on those through the off-season to make you a better and stronger triathlete for the season ahead. So to summarize, your training needs to be consistent, progressive, but also targeted towards the event that you're preparing for and individualized to your own needs, strengths, and weaknesses. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you want to see another one of our videos, please click just there.